Hey friends, and welcome to this new video all about news and theories on Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. Today, we're going to talk about some trademark names filed by Mob Entertainment. In recent videos, I've often focused on three specific names: Lily Lovebraids, Chum Chompkins, and Globy. These three characters have been approved for publication, so we've had the chance to take a closer look. In fact, recently, they introduced Lily Lovebraids with the new official trailer. But today, I want to do something a little different. Some of you asked me to talk about the other registered names as well, the ones that haven't been approved or revealed yet. Even though we don't know when or if they will be released, we can still make some very interesting theories just by analyzing the names themselves. In this video, that's exactly what we're going to do. We'll take a close look at some of these names. We can make guesses about their features, abilities, and how they might interact with us players. So get ready, because we're going to go into detail on each name, try to catch every little hint. Before we start, don't forget to like the video if you're curious to discover these theories, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you won't miss any updates on future Poppy Playtime chapters and all the latest news from the creepiest factory ever. Alright, without further delay, let's dive into these names and see what secrets they might be hiding. Alright, now let's start talking about these characters. Until now, I haven't really talked much about the other registered names because, unlike Lily Lovebraids, Chum Chompkins, and Globy, there aren't any official updates about them yet. In fact, these trademarks haven't been approved for publication, so it will probably take some time before Mob Entertainment officially introduces them in the game. The fact that, for now, only Lily Lovebraids, Chum Chompkins, and Globy have been approved can already be an interesting clue. Perhaps these three characters will have a much more central and important role in Chapter 5, while the other unapproved names could simply represent secondary or background characters, maybe appearing in minor scenes or as small details in the factory. But remember, in Poppy Playtime, nothing is ever random. Every name, as we've already seen in previous chapters, always contains hints about the main characteristics of the mascot or how they will behave in the game. Take Lily Lovebraids, for example. Her name clearly contains the word braid, and she indeed has a very long braid. This is a perfect example of how a character's name can reveal an important physical or behavioral detail even before we see them in the game. Also, I want to mention that a few months ago, I made a video where I showed all of the registered names that Mob Entertainment has filed so far. So some of you might already remember that. And today, we're going to take it a step further by analyzing them more deeply and making some theories about what these names could really mean. So, based on this principle, today we'll focus on some of the most intuitive registered names, the ones that already allow us to make interesting first guesses. Even without official images or gameplay details, we can try to interpret the meaning behind the names, analyze the words used, and start speculating how these characters might look, what features they might have, and what roles they could play in the factory. So let's analyze the first name. Let's start with the first name, Doodle Bones. Just from the name, we can already see that this character gives us a lot of interesting information and intriguing theory ideas. The name is made up of two words, Doodle and Bones, and both have a specific meaning that allows us to immediately imagine something about the design and behavior of this mascot. There is the word bones, so it's easy to think that this character could be inspired by a skeleton or a toy made of bones. We might be looking at a mascot with a very skeletal design, where each part of the body is represented by separate bones, maybe stylized in a scary or even playful way. The word doodle is equally interesting. It usually refers to scribbles, creative drawings, or something playful and imaginative. This suggests that the bones of this character are not simply fixed rigidly, but could be arranged or combined in different ways, as if they were put together creatively or drawn in different ways. From here, we can make several hypotheses about the gameplay or characteristics of Doodle Bones. For example, we could imagine it being a detachable and reassemblable mascot, where each body part, arms, legs, head, and torso could be removed and put back together in different ways. Maybe a leg could be moved to the position of an arm, or the head could rotate in unusual ways, creating an effect that is both scary and intriguing. Furthermore, the playful design suggested by the word doodle makes us think that even if Doodle Bones is a horror character, it could have a slightly cartoonish or ironic appearance, almost like a toy coming to life in a creepy way. This could also influence the way it interacts with the player. Perhaps it's a character that moves in a strange way, with body parts detaching or reattaching as it runs or chases us through the factory. In short, just from the name Doodle Bones, we can already imagine a very versatile character, with unique physical features and potentially interesting gameplay mechanics linked to its ability to be disassembled and reassembled. It's a perfect example of how Mob Entertainment chooses character names not randomly, but to hint at key features even before showing us the official design. Now let's move on to the second name, Loopsy Noodle. Even in this case, just like with Doodle Bones, the name is made up of two distinct words, each of which gives us very interesting clues about this character and its possible design. The first word, Loopsy, immediately reminds us of the word loop, something that spins and repeats continuously. This suggests that the character might have a cyclical or repetitive behavior or shape, as if it were connected to movements that wrap around themselves or continue endlessly. It could be a character that moves along circular paths, or one that has parts of its body that curl or fold in on themselves. The second word, noodle, refers to a long, thin pasta, like spaghetti. This makes us think that the character might have a long and flexible body, similar to a noodle, which can stretch, bend, or twist in unusual ways. The combination of the two words therefore makes us imagine a character that is both long and flexible and in some way cyclical or looping, as if it could bend over itself, forming rings or continuous curves. The concept of loop suggests a more closed, winding, or recurring shape, almost like a ribbon that folds onto itself. So, even if it is hard to know exactly how this character will look, we can already imagine some of its main characteristics: a long, flexible body that probably moves or behaves in a continuous and repetitive way. This shows us once again how Mob Entertainment carefully chooses the names of the characters, giving clues in the name itself about design, movement, or behavior. Even if we don't have official images or details yet, Loopsy Noodle could be a very original and creative character, and its design might use its long and looping shape to create an effect that is both creepy and fascinating, perfect for the atmosphere of Poppy Playtime. Now let's talk about Giblet, since some of you asked me to cover this one too. Unfortunately, in this case, the analysis is much more difficult than the other names. The word giblet actually refers to the edible internal parts of birds, like the liver, heart, and other organs. This gives us very few clues to imagine a design or characteristics for a mascot. Honestly, I don't think Mob Entertainment created a character inspired by the internal organs of a cooking bird. So, for now, the only sensible thing to do is to wait for further updates on the trademark and any official images or descriptions that could clarify what this is about. When we have more information, we'll be able to make more concrete guesses about this mysterious character. Alright, that's all for today. I hope this analysis of the registered names in Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 was fun for you and gave you new ideas to theorize about the new characters. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.